If you want traction, then you must apply a tire. And in my case, since I'm basically going full race car with the Nissan Z and just recently upgraded the turbos, I need all the tire I can get. This is why I went with a 15-inch wheel. It's gonna require some work, but I think we can make it happen. Holy crap, guys. This here in this box is something I've been wanting to do. I've tested it with other wheels, didn't really work out, but this is gonna be the right fitment for the Z. At least I hope this is what they told me. So let's go ahead and open the box and see what we got. Oh my gosh. That is pretty. As you can see, it's very small. It's because this is a 15-inch beadlock design, meaning it would not fit over these brakes. So I have to downsize from the Akebonos to the base brakes. So in this video, we're gonna be downsizing those brakes, getting those tires mounted onto the beadlock and test fitting to see if they're gonna go on. We are preparing for the competition come October 5th. So I'm basically preparing everything I need in order for this car to run 10.5 with ease. These are the tires that I'm gonna put onto the Z. There's still a small radial closer to stock. I should probably test a taller tire. I kind of wanted to keep the same gearing, so I went with a 275/50/15. I'm extremely curious to see how much this thing weighs. Beadlocks normally tend to be maybe like 3 to 5 pounds heavier than a regular wheel, but being that this is 15-inch, it should weigh significantly less. What does this say there? 11.2 pounds? Oh, 17.2 pounds. Holy crap, bro. I was like, no freaking way. But still, 17.2 pounds? That's the lightest wheel I've ever had. I mean, in the rears. Obviously, these things are pretty light too. They actually probably weigh about the same. I think they were 17 pounds. I don't remember. But dude, that's light for a rear wheel. Candy red looks really nice. So now we're gonna be putting some soapy water. This is gonna act as your lubricant. There you go. Another neat trick to do is get a 5-gallon bucket. You can place the wheel over top of the bucket, so when you're applying pressure to the tire isn't hitting the ground. As a precautionary measure, I'm gonna be adding some blue thread locker. That way, none of these bolts back out. So the way you're supposed to do this is make sure that the ring seats evenly across the entire wheel. And in order for that to happen, you need to tighten the bolts in a cross hatch pattern, or also known as a star formation. So you want to start, like, let's say on the very top, then you want to do the bottom, then you go all the way to the left, then you want to go to the complete opposite, which is on the right hand side, and you keep doing that until you work your way around the entire ring. So now I'm grabbing my torque wrench and I'm setting it at 20 foot-pounds for the beadlock ring. So we'll go around now the entire beadlock ring, and I'm gonna be using 2 little blue tape marks. That way I know where I started and where I'm at, and I don't get lost. And I'm gonna go around the wheel 2 times to make sure it's up to spec. Since I'm already tightening the beadlock ring, I went ahead and checked the center face bolts, and some of them were a little loose. So I went ahead and set the torque wrench at 12 foot-pounds and went to town. All that's left is to air it up. I'm gonna just air it up to 40 pounds and make sure that it seats properly. Then I'll just drop it back down to about 32 PSI for street driving. This thing looks freaking good, dude. I've never had such a fat tire like this before. Oh yeah, baby. First beadlock ever, man. It looks so good. I can stare at this all day. Sheesh. Got the wheel section right here, god damn. We have 4 days left until FL2K, and we have to downsize these brakes. If not, then I cannot fit the wheels. No wheels, no traction. No traction, a very bad time. So this is probably one of the most crucial parts of this build at this moment. So these are 2 19mm. Now, gotta take the e-brake off because it's holding the rotor. I'm gonna clean this up, that way I can write on it with a marker. Sure is pretty. That looks pretty dope. I'm gonna make the necessary cuts here now. I can cut the highest point. Alright, so now we just cut on the line. Doesn't really have that many sharp edges. There's probably just one right here. I'll hit it with the die grinder just to make it nice and smooth. It'll do for now. We're gonna go ahead and test fit the caliper and the rotor to see if everything fits. These calipers came off of a Q50, so I'm not sure if they're any different than a 370. So here's the reason why you have to go with stainless steel braided lines. The base brake gets fed through a banjo bolt. So we have to remove this distribution block here along with the rubber hose from here and replace it with one of these guys. There's a retainer clip, you have to pull that off. It does get a little challenging, so you have to use like a small punch and a hammer. There we go. You're gonna grab your replacement line and it's gonna be the small one for the back. Now you wanna attach that clip again. The bowl part goes up. It's pretty hard to do, so the best thing I found was using a plier, then tapping it the rest way. Now you wanna put the banjo bolt through here, one O-ring in first, and then another O-ring on this side, and attach it to the caliper. So I have some aluminum shank lug nuts. It's not something you want to tighten and torque down with an impact, so it has to be done by hand. Okay, so the wheel is on. I'm gonna spin it now for the first time and see if it's gonna touch anything. You know what? I don't even think I needed to cut that much off of that dust shield, but it's all right. Look how close that thing gets to that wheel. Holy crap, look at that. All right, so I want to weigh the rotor. This is the factory rear rotor. 19.5, so it's around 19.5, 20 pounds. Here is an aftermarket wavy rotor. 12.3, that's pretty good. I don't remember what the two-piece Z1 rotors weigh. I'm gonna put it up on the screen here, but I think these wavy rotors might weigh less than the two-piece big Akebono brake rotor. Trying to pour up some of that good. Make sure to shake up the contents for better taste. All right, so the wheels are on, and I'm really nervous because they are poking out, man. I'm hoping that once I lower it, the suspension isn't sagging as much, and then it won't really be poking anymore. I guess it's fine if it ever does squat. Maybe it'll go inside. It isn't bad. I do wish it was a little more inside though. So the 17-inch version of this wheel looks so good on this car. I'm gonna put a video clip now of the wheels on this car, and man, it is drop dead gorgeous. But I care a little bit about performance, so I dropped down to a 15-inch. That way I can have lighter wheels. That means less rotational mass. And now I can get more tire height from a 15-inch wheel. What a mission this thing was to put up. All right, so I got her off. Whew, success, we finally made it.